The Home Affairs Department says that sufficient reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother. The department said on Wednesday yesterday as it provided an update on its investigation into the citizenship of Adetshina, who is a contestant in the upcoming Miss South Africa competition. The Home Affairs Department's preliminary findings also found Adetshina could not have participated in the alleged unlawful actions of her mother as she was an infant at the time, 2001. So do keep that in mind, that they are not pointing the blame at Adetshina. She was an infant at the time. It is more pointed towards her mother. They do mention that the investigation is still ongoing. So Home Affairs South Africa posted a media statement on social media. It reads, ongoing Home Affairs investigation finds prima facie indications of fraud committed by Chidimma Adetshina's mother. This is the statement from the Ministry of Home Affairs, Republic of South Africa.
An ongoing investigation by Home Affairs has found prima facie indications of fraud committed by Chidimma Adetshina's mother. The Department of Home Affairs herewith provides an update on the ongoing investigation into the citizenship of Miss Chidimma Adetshina, a contestant in the upcoming Miss SA event. The reason for the ongoing nature of the investigation is that its scope has broadened since the original request received from the organisers of Miss SA based on the information uncovered by Home Affairs investigators thus far. The department nonetheless provides this update to the public based on that official request and consent. We will provide a final update once the investigation is concluded. Upon receiving the request for investigation, the department deployed every resource at its disposal to establish the truth. This has included archival research, visits to hospitals, and site visits to verify information. From the information we have uncovered thus far, the Department of Home Affairs can indicate that prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother. Adetshina herself could not have participated in the alleged unlawful actions of her mother, as she was an infant at the time when the activities took place in 2001. An innocent South African mother, whose identity may have been stolen as part of the alleged fraud, suffered as a result because she could not register her child. The department has broadened its investigation to identify and pursue any officials involved in the alleged scheme and is obtaining legal advice on the implications of the alleged fraudulent activity on Adetshina's citizenship status. And finally, upon the completion of the investigation, Home Affairs intends to press criminal charges and convict all implicated parties. This case, which stems from alleged fraudulent activities committed 23 years ago, highlights the urgent need for the digital modernization of Home Affairs applications, adjudication and verification processes to insulate the department against fraudulent interference, similar to the reforms undertaken at the South African Revenue Service in the late 2000s. The case also highlights the reason for the department's blocking of certain duplicate IDs and that the court-ordered unblocking of these documents must be handled with caution. Throughout this process, Home Affairs is guided by our commitment to both restoring and upholding the rule of law as well as the rights of all parties.
This news has seen any public figure who has commented on the matter of Adetshina participating in Miss South Africa being dragged on social media.
Your citizenship is determined by where you were born. So if she was born here, she's South African. It doesn't matter who they are. She's not her parents. She's herself. So why do you want to say she's from Nigeria or she's from Mozambique? She was born here. In America, actually, I don't know how many months. If I'm not wrong, if you are 6 months pregnant or so, they don't allow you to visit. Because they know that once you visit and you stay there, and you give birth there, that child is American. Yeah, they know that as long you don't have to be American.
Yeah,
it's born in a hospital there.
Yeah,
must be certified immediately that this is the child who was born in America. This is an American citizen. So we can't do that. We cannot punish people on the basis of where their parents come from. So I've not followed the debate. I don't know if she's South African or not. But I would guess the Miss South Africa company would have done the necessary due diligence and come to a conclusion that she's a suitable candidate to contest.
Yeah.
So those are the things that are actually engineered by those who are spreading hatred amongst African people. Such people should not be supported.
And of course, in the case of Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton McKenzie, praise has been afforded to him, as a lot of social media users have attributed all this progress with regards to the Miss South Africa contestant Adetshina to Gayton McKenzie being the one to highlight it, especially amongst ministers and the government.
I will still hold the view that no Nigerian, no Zimbabwean, no Italian, no American should become Mr. South Africa. Miss South Africa. Why then? There's Miss World for those things. There's Miss Universe for those things. But South Africa, Miss South Africa is an ambassador of the country, is a person that will export our culture, is a person that will export our way of life to the world, is a person that will go and make sure people want to visit our country. All I'm saying is that I've seen videos, number one, where she's celebrating, and there's nothing wrong celebrating with a lot of Nigerians. But when your father goes on the radio and he says that he met your mom in 2010, and then she fell pregnant in 2010, that makes you 14 years old. The father said, and at the end of the interview, the father was asked, do you see your daughter South African or Nigerian? The father said on the interview, I see her as Nigerian. I listened to it.
Right.
Now, I am not wanting to cast any aspersions, but that gives a bit of vibes. If my father is being asked, what am I? Then I've got no business representing Mr. South Africa, because my father says I'm not South African. But if the lady, people must not mistake if you are born in South Africa that you are South African. A human being born, a cow being born in a horse stable doesn't make you a horse. And that is the law.
So what would you like to see? Because that is literally next weekend.
I would like to see, I would not like to go the route that it is taking now. I would like to see a more amicable atmosphere surrounding this thing. At the moment, all we're asking for is, please give us, please answer our questions. It's not enough when they say one thing and the parents say another thing in the interview. It will be a travesty of justice. There's no South African that can represent America. Why do we allow things? And I'm not even saying she's Nigerian. But if you ask me today, are you South African? I'm going to say yes. Particularly when I'm going to represent South Africa.
So taking a look at some of the reactions on social media, one user wrote, Gayton McKenzie is the only minister that understands that he works for the people of South Africa, not the other way around. Thank you at Gayton McKenzie for listening to South Africans on the issue of Chidimma Adetshina and Miss South Africa 2024, and for always putting South Africa first. Another user wrote after the Chidimma Adetshina debacle, as South Africans would demand an immediate audit and review of the papers of the foreign nationals. We want the compromised National Population Register investigated immediately. Well, as the Minister of Home Affairs said, this is still an ongoing investigation.